officially underway. As you did see Xtreme, they are the 3-1 favorites here in terms of the odds being offered at the moment. So there you go. It seems like most of the betting crowd is looking at Xtreme Gaming at the moment, which I do agree with. I would certainly say they are looking to be the favorites here up against Shopify, at least based off the results we've been seeing and the way that both teams have been playing. Again, I'd never underestimate Shopify, though. They're a team that can really pull out some really fantastic performances when it comes to it. And of course, their backs are against the wall now in this series up against Xtreme, so both sides looking for a big win here in this best-of-3 series. Otherwise, their hopes might just be over. See if we do break out into level 1 team fight here between these two sides. Of course, Xtreme would love one. They'll have a look around, but Shopify playing a little bit more defensively. Like SingQ and XXS, they'll start to move their way up into that dire jungle. XXS will take the Watcher. Skem and Hellscream just going to chase the board down, hoping for a kill. They won't get it though. Denied away. And no fight to break out, sadly, John.
The battle begins.
Nah. Gonna be happy enough with an early trade. Oh, well, a much better trade coming out for Xtreme. They snag one extra away. 3-1 start. Gonna spell some nice times for XM on mid. A faster battle. It's gonna do a lot of work here, especially up against a Storm while we're looking at that mid matchup. Again, for Yopaj, static slide up, you can play this lane quite fine. It should be Storm favored, but it's not like it's completely unplayable for Ember. With a sleight of fist, with some dodge potential coming in there. There are windows for XM to kind of just play this lane, try to get his double impact going as well. And you're already seeing some of that aggression. No overload yet in Yopaj. Level 2 is when it starts to get a little bit better in terms of trading back onto XM. Just, again, that double whammy of hits can feel good, but you also do have to show respect to XM once the Sleight of Fist cooldown does start to drop. His uptime's a little bit more manageable. And I do like what XM is doing. Gets the Searing Chains, early value point already set up, just kind of opening up some possibilities for when Yopaj oversteps into the lane, or potentially down the line, say 4 minutes in, you're going to get a nice rotation in with your Mirana with an arrow setup.
Absolutely, and Yopaj already taking so much damage from XM. Almost goes down, but of course XM not going to dive the tier 1 tower too early on. But you can't underestimate the amount of damage you do deal with that Sleight of Fist plus the double impact facet. It is pretty disgusting, as we are going to have a quick pause from Pakaz. Side lanes wise, it seems like this Prophet's having a good old time up at top lane at 5 CS so far. I don't expect Shopify will have too many issues up at the top lane here up against SingQ and XXS, unless they cop a Rogue Arrow, which definitely could happen. See what SingQ can do with the angles here from the tree lines, but for now, I do believe that both sides of this top lane should be pretty cool.
Yeah, it should be fine. It's a very even farming lane overall. Again, a little bit more favorable for Yamato, as he's able to just leverage the tree. Not much of a threat of it getting instantly bursted down. So, unless, again, you kind of try to aim around here with SingQ and focus it. But you've got some tick bodies to put forward. You've got a lot of protection for that NP. Probably the most static lane up top, actually. Just going to boil down to farm. No pulls. No need to at least creep, skip, and pull. Just kind of get that build up. At the least, perhaps, if Yamato sees an opportunity down the line with a value point teleportation, again, he can help things happen across the map. Just whether or not you have that foundation kind of remains to be seen. We'll see how else he develops from that start. Down bot, the last lane that you were briefly looking at, Pakaz, and up against that lane of Ame. Like, the Tiny should be really fine. Yes, you can play around with Tidebringer, but Ame is just so tanky, he's not going to care. He's got his own cleave mechanic with the tree grab. Avalanche Toss is a threat once levels are up. Sean Ming's getting some good pulls back, so is Hellscream. So at the very least, you're trading even in that respect. The camp block did come a little bit late here from the side of Xtreme Gaming. And I do feel like the aggression that Shopify can get out here is a little bit stalled out. Like, it's really interesting as well to see Broad Blossom come out from Pakaz. And we haven't seen too much of the off-lane Kunkka in our games. We tend to see Kunkka on mid with the Tidebringer facet, so we do get the tanky Kunkka in this game at the very least. Although, without the X, you're not going to see that impact anytime soon, and it's going to take some levels before you start to play around with that. So, you've got a lot of leeway here to just play poke with Sean Ming and with Ame. And, again, Ame is having a slower start in comparison to Yamato, but he's having a decent enough time slowing out Pakaz at the very least.
Well, first blood, Yopaj getting dived by XM. No rotations to help him out, and XM finding a solo pickoff on the mid lane of Shopify. That is not a great start for Shopify Rebellion, and we did actually see a lot of this yesterday. A couple solo pickoffs yesterday as well onto Yopaj, and it does make the game a lot harder when your mid laner is 2 levels behind the other. As now bottom lane Pakaz ends up also going down to Tianming, and you really can't underestimate this Elder Titan with the Astral Spirit damage, man. It's pretty ridiculous during the laning stage.
And it is. I do like that Tianming did go for the other facet as well, not the move speed one. He went for deconstruction, so even more reduction in armor and magic res, as long as he stays within the area, get that aura going from him. It really softens up the targets. Again, this lane of Kunkka Muerta just doesn't have that much great aggressive synergy, especially up against someone like the Tiny and ET. They're just way too tanky to play. So you can just leverage that inside of Xtreme. And this start is just very overwhelming. At least a nice little sneaky move here from Skem to get a D-ward and a block going at the same time. So the build-up can't really be there in terms of ancient stacks for Xtreme. But I want to get back to that point about Yopaj. Right, like him having the slow lane mid, it's going to snowball pretty bad, especially into the first power rune. At the first power rune, chances are he's not going to be 6 yet. You're going to have that arrow set we've been talking about. There's going to be a big opportunity to keep that pressure going from Xtreme, and there's really not much you can get done there on Shopify's end because of how badly Yopaj is getting beaten down. In terms of CS, he is keeping up, but that one little death kind of sets a tone in that lane.
It certainly does. Of course, XM going to hit that level 6 mark very soon, and Yopaj got to be careful not to get caught another time before his own level 6. They probably will try. See if he does at least hit it before the 6-minute mark. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Pakaz in trouble again. Yamato, they're going to rotate over to ensure that Tianming cannot continue bullying this Kunkka. And with that, Yamato looking at TP. Oh, he cops the arrow. Sinkyu, what a menace. He'll have to do it the old-fashioned way through the Twin Gate.
You waste some resources out at the very least. And that's the kind of rotations you are looking for. This is the aggression you were expecting here, Mikey, from that NP. So they do get the ball rolling. They find an opportunity. It's not the most important target, but you certainly want the launching point, and the NP having such a great start is a decent enough setup for that. 6-minute rune coming up. You can see the focus onto Yopaj's lane already here.
They're going to jump in. Yopaj being targeted. He's still level 5, so he's got no zip to get away from this, but he can turn around. Now that he's got the support here to help him out, Yopaj, though, will go down to Sinkyu. Gets it a little bit greedy. Sinkyu walks away with a double kill. And you had the chance to run, but he wanted to try and salvage this lane by finding a kill onto Tianming. But it doesn't happen, and once again, I feel like for the 3rd game in 2 days, he's stuck at level 5, while the other mid laner, XM in this case, will almost be level 7.
Yeah, and it boils down to that single pickoff that XM found. I think this also maybe goes back to the skill build. Like, he's going all in on stat requirement overload, going for a 3-0-2, so he doesn't have this double overload threat. He doesn't have that vortex, so at least try to buy him some time and spacing if XM does fully commit. And I get why you go for this on Storm. You do get faster farm in the jungle, but it did cost him his lane. It did give that opening for XM to get this snowball start. And now the side of Xtreme Gaming, you're kind of sailing away. Outside of the lane of Yamato, everything's been going the way of Xtreme. Arcane Rune for XM, early rotation out. Already trying to punish for the Shrine of Wisdom, maybe a bit more here.
Yeah, I mean, they've certainly got themselves a conqueror, I do believe. The car's not able to get away. XM securing the kill with that sleight of fist. Not 100% sure how happy Arme is about that, but nevertheless, another kill onto Pakaz, and boy oh boy, already 5-1 in favor of Xtreme Gaming. They are just proving to be so aggressive in this game one, as Tianming now getting caught out by the Dire Triangle. So Hellscream able to secure a kill for himself, and Yamato with another rotation on the Prophet. And that is the one saving grace for Shopify Rebellion. Like, Yamato's had a very good time in that top lane. He has topped the net worth board. But you look at the rest of the net worth, and it's all 3 cores of Xtreme, which is probably going to make it so mid-game is looking a little bit challenging for Shopify. As Yopaj again caught out mid-lane.
Oh, Lord.
He's going to die another time. And now poor old Scammer was just here to help out. He might make it at least. But you got the big boy. You got the target you wanted in Yopaj. In Xtreme, they're more than happy with that. Who cares about the Ogre?
Yeah. You already got what you wanted. You take away his free Galvanize stack, so Yopaj really has nothing to play with. It's been a very dead time lane. He doesn't even find a rune.
Oh,
Spawns
not
in the wrong
again.
spot. Oh, Lord.
Q, just an absolute menace on this Mirana, looking for another kill, but it may cost him this time. As Yopaj will say thank you very much. Skem, he will be able to get away now. XM, trying to find Yopaj. He will juke out the Earth Splitter, but Hellscream looks like he is set to fall. Yopaj now going to turn back onto Tianming as Yamato going to TP in. XM still chasing Hellscream. Will finally get the kill, but he's out. He's running pretty low on mana here, XM. He's going to be a little bit cautious. Yopaj, he will zip away. Yamato, though, getting roared, being left behind. In XG, they win another fight. Just all the trades, they're still just XG favored.
Oh yeah, and you know, we've got to highlight this damage in Sin-Q. This Starstruck facet, again, we don't see it to support Mirana too often nowadays, especially since, you know, you lost the Daylight, the attack speed talent facet. Hold that thought, Ame.
Uh-oh. Ame in a bit of danger, though. He's a bit of a tanky boy, but he's got no help incoming. He's going to try, though, for a TP.
Really?
Oh, that's just... That's just revolting, John.
Oh,
I mean,
it is.
come. I mean, this hero's meant to have 0 armor, dude. There's 0 base armor, but he takes no damage. Yeah. He took no damage.
Look, craggy exterior, he took his point and grow, and we were talking about this in the draft. How do you kill this Tiny? I was expecting this to be a problem at 15, not at 10.
Here we go. Mid lane, Skem already dropping. Yopaj, he will at least trade for Tianming, but maybe they can get XM. And they will. That's a big one. XM going down on the Ember. Yamato picking up a killing spree off of that. And yeah, that was worth quite a bit more, I think, XM. Certainly a kill you didn't want to see as an XG fan, but he does go down.
Yeah, for a Shopify fan, you're going to be very excited. Getting some activity out in Yopaj. Already starting to recover. Look at that net worth gap between XM and Yopaj. After a very atrocious lane for Yopaj, he's only about 300 gold behind. Right, like, and this is also what we saw yesterday from Yopaj. His laning phase, kind of atrocious. Not gonna lie, it's been pretty bad from Yopaj. He's been getting outplayed. He's been getting solo picked off in the 1v1 mid. But he comes back in with a couple of pickoffs, and things do start getting rolling. Sin-Q?
Well, they're gonna get the dead shot the wrong way there. So Sin-Q gonna be able to walk out of the calling. Is now Ame gonna rotate to ensure that they get something for all of this. And poor old Skem is just stuck as Sin-Q will secure another kill on the Mirana. XG, they'll be happy with that. Now a 3k advantage in their favor as Shopify. The thing is, you want to play fast with this style of draft, but it seems like they've got to take the time to farm a little bit. They just don't have the net worth right now to really be trying to be aggressive.
Yeah, you really need more build-up, mainly on, I would say, Pakaz. Like, Yopaj, he's kind of fine. I mean, after he gets probably his first item up, his Kaya done, Kaya or Witchblade is going to Kaya first. Once he has one of those items up, he's pretty fine. It's the Kunkka that I'm kind of concerned about. Pakaz has not had impact in the lane. We haven't really seen any big plays coming out yet. He needs more time as Hellscream, jeez.
Yeah, getting taken down through the Pierce the Veil, and now Yopaj, I mean, did zip in. Gotta be a little bit cautious because XM's still looking for a change, but we'll run into Skem instead. So Skem's gonna tank the gank for his mid laner. Though he's still actually running. XM now gonna be in a little bit of danger, I think, as he does get Vortex back. And XM, oh, he remnants out. XM, how do you get away like that? Tianming trying to get away. Yamato missing it uphill. He misses. How unfortunate. In XG, but by a cat's head, Jonathan, they get out of there.
Yeah, a little bit risky. You know, XM, I do appreciate that high risk, high reward play he's doing. But it is, again, giving avenues back to Yopaj. If that stomp didn't connect, he'd probably be dead at that point. Yopaj would have been able to get that extra right click off, or at least set up a static remnant, kind of open up that kill. Still, all of that effort's paying off for Xtreme. They'll find the mid-tier 1 off of this. They'll start to open up the map a little bit more, get that invasion going. And big benefit still for Shopify is all this farm in Yamato as they're starting to encircle top here.
Be a nice kill onto XXS because he's been ignored the whole game and he's already got the Aghanim Scepter up on the Beastmaster. Thing is, he could turn around with a Roar here, and I think he just might. In fact, he's not even needing it. He's not dying. Scam's the one to go down. Yamato in huge danger. XM will be able to pick him off, and now the Roar finally comes out. XX is still running, does finally die, but what's it going to cost Shopify? XM's cleaning up. A triple kill for Sin-Q of all people, and now Yopaj. He's out of mana. Good luck, Yopaj.
Oh,
I wish you the best, sir.
Oh my god, Sin-Q.
Sin-Q. Ultra kill on the Mirana. Oh, it's getting dark, Jonathan. It's getting dark for Shopify. And I mean, XG proving the odds may have been maybe a little, not enough favor for them. Maybe they needed more in their favor, John. My goodness.
Yeah. Like we were talking about it again in the draft, right? Like the way Xtreme Draft is a little bit different. It's not necessarily in line with what's the most popular in the meta right now. Bringing out the Sin-Q Mirana, seeing the power of that Starstruck. Because there was, when the patch launched and we saw these changes, like, all right, poor Mirana's dead, but Starstruck, this Facet, it's a stupid amount of damage for ganks. It's a stupid amount of damage with the Ags if you manage to get that build up for Sin-Q, which I would not be surprised down the line if he manages to pick that up after the pipe, after some utility comes in. Like, Sin-Q is 10 of the 17 kills. He's been in 13 of the 17 kills overall. Like, this guy is a maniac on this Mirana.
Pretty nuts.
And
it is pretty
he
nuts.
is above Pakaz and Yopaj's net worth. That is not a good sign for Top. We've seen this so many times. Phosphorus just higher than the enemy cores. You know you're in for a pretty rough game if that's already happening at 15 minutes in, Mike.
That's pretty tough. That is a pretty tough situation to find yourself in. The thing is, a hero like Mirana as well, like, you can keep up the farm. Like, you know, arrow some creeps, Starstorm, the creep waves, like, you can really escalate quite quickly. You can appreciate Sin-Q going for a utility build as well, building the Yules, looking for a pipe now, bottom lane. Pakaz in the middle of nowhere is going to try and just pop the Blade Mail and run. Scam and Yopaj, they are nearby him. In XG, good game sense to not try to run uphill and force a fight. So Shopify now, they're going to smoke around back through the bottom lane. It's like a big wraparound towards the Tormentor now. But a Moonlight Shadow's been popped by XG. They're also having a look. Neither finds anything. So they're going to go through the Twin Gate here, Shopify. Up to the top lane where they could find XXS. XXS no help around him, but he does retreat at the correct time. And ultimately both teams miss out. Nobody finds anyone. Another smoke, this time from XG now. Thing is, this Beastmaster is about 20 gold. In fact, never mind, he's got the blink up now. Perfect timing if you can get it out in time for this fight. Shopify won't be expecting it. Pakaz getting chased, chains out. Are going to be there from XM into the arrow. He's taking too much damage here, Pakaz. Almost dead. XM still looking to chip away eventually. Pakaz surely gets some help, but no, apparently not. Nobody wanted to help out, so now XM going in for more. We'll find a courier. But if you're XG, you might seriously consider a T2 tower. I mean, at this point, they're so far ahead. There's no real reason to not just take objectives, but they will play it the smarter way, John, and they'll just keep the farm game up.
I'm more surprised by how Shopify is playing. I don't mind Xtreme playing it slow. They've got scaling on hand. They should be confident about how their late game's looking like if they do decide to drag it longer. It's Shopify that I think is missing the mark with the aggression. And you mentioned it in the draft, right? We were seeing it earlier from Yamato, before he had even the Mjolnir. He was showing up in lanes, looking for gank opportunities. Just leaving Pakaz alone that long, this is your tankiest hero. It takes him a long time to kill this Kunkka.
Can they kill Arme? I don't think they can actually kill Arme like this. No, they can't kill Arme. In fact, Arme's killing them here, John. John! Oh, no. I'm saying, John, as if you could fix it. You know, do something here, Jonathan. Well, what are they doing? You couldn't kill Arme with 4 heroes earlier.
Yeah. And again, I was harping about this in draft. Like, what is this draft supposed to do against Tiny? What are you supposed to do against Craggy Exterior up against Insurmountable? Even if just that little bit of stat rest he gets for free it's a dumb amount. 10% is nothing to laugh at. Oh no.
Yamato, he's getting soloed by XXS.
No way.
I thought he had some help on the way. Here they come. Turns out he didn't need it, John.
No. He's way too farmed. Like, having the drums up, having that beast mode, you twack it on, get the right-click damage. It's kind of falling apart for Shopify. They've missed their window, to put it straight. Like, they've missed their window. I like what they were trying to achieve in lane, even though the only kills they were finding were Tianming, not the most meaningful kill on the ET, but they were trying to play that aggression with early teleportation out. And now they're playing a farming game with tempo heroes.
Maybe they can kill XXS. It's a big maybe, John. They're jumping in. Calling is down. He'll walk away, but the X into the boat back is there. He's so tanky, though. XXS is not dying. In fact, it might be Shopify who go down. XXS who will finally drop. Can they get away, Shopify, or can they keep going? Tianming, he'll be targeted. They'll take down Pakaz at the very least, and Skim also dropping as now they move on to Yamato. That's your carry down. XM's out of control. Complete and utter chaos. Shopify, they find 2 for the price of 3, which actually isn't really bad for them, John. They actually get the gold change to go their way, but it's also not very good. You lost your POS 1 and 3 in the process.
It's a huge sacrifice, but in some ways, you kind of need to do that. You kind of need to trade like this. You just need to hope that, you know, Yopaj starts to pull a little bit ahead because, you know, you're still behind. You're still behind Sin-Q. Pakaz and Yopaj are still behind Sin-Q's farm. Yules is up.
Oh,
Yopaj.
Yeah, speaking of we didn't catch that on camera, but basically all that happened is Sin-Q ran into him and Yules him up into an arrow. And XM just took him down. That's what... What is it, John?
It's that 16-minute early Yule Scepter at Flame. That's how fast Sin-Q is this game.
Yeah, it was fast. Here goes Skim. And by here goes, I mean he's going, John. He's not staying, I'll tell you that. Arme will find that kill. 15k net worth advantage now for XG, as we are going to see. In fact, we did catch it, Jonathan. There you go.
Yeah.
Another sad death for Yopaj.
Our boy Japoy not having the hottest tournament overall, frankly. But I'm trying to think of ways you come back here now on Shopify. What they have to do. Yeah.
XXS can literally just roar anyone and kill them by himself, and they can't do anything.
Yamato, I don't think he wants to be here.
Get out of there. You saw what happened. You saw what they did to Hellscream, Yamato. What are you doing? Get out of there, Yamato.
What?
Oh.
What was...
Back to the 1-0 country for him, John. Back to the 1-0 country. XM. Yeah, Skeb. No commentary required. XM's doing all the talking here, John. XM having a brilliant performance here for XG.
And they're all having a smashing performance out on the side of Xtreme Gaming. They've shared the load of dying evenly outside of Tianming, the outlier with 5 deaths, but he was the one being ganked up early. They have the opening for Roshan. Nice and quick. No complications, no threat of literally anything from the side of Shopify at the moment, as they will just clear it out. And I have to say, none of these item timings from Shopify are also filling me with a lot of confidence. Pakaz is rushing the pipe, which will certainly help, especially up against the damage of Sin-Q. It's not going to help with the damage of Ame once he's ready to go. Yopaj?
Ame's ready to go, John.
Oh,
Yopaj is dead.
What?
I can hear the frustration, Jonathan. That's literally
it's not frustration.
What can you do?
It's not frustration, it's disgust. Xtreme Gaming are just so good. Shopify is... It's starting to look like, you know, they need a little bit of a mental reset almost.
Hellscream almost dies. Gets the Pierce the Veil off. Sin-Q just gonna casually Yules him up. No worries, mate. I'll let XXS take care of it then. Meanwhile, mid lane, Skem's gone as well. I mean, just every lane you look at, somebody's dying from Shopify. 31-9, 21k net worth. Did I say it was going to be a close game, John? Is that what I said?
I believe so. We've gotten on record. If you're watching on YouTube, you can scroll back to the draft and maybe kind of figure out chat. But I'm pretty sure he did say that. Yes, you did. I mean, look, I would have expected a little bit more, especially with what we saw from Shopify yesterday against Tundra. Right? And Tundra, I would rate, no shade to Xtreme, but I would rate Tundra higher than Xtreme Gaming at this point. And Shopify looked decent there. And this is not the same Shopify we saw in that series. Maybe they start to reel it back. They're going out for a smoke play. They've haven't really gotten anything new in items, at least I guess the Kai Witchblade.
They've run into XM alone. Nobody else is with him right now. It is literally just XM. And look at this. They can't take him out. He's going to run at them. 1 versus 4. And XM, he might actually find a kill. He doesn't. Skem will be saved by a pipe.
Oh.
But Arme's here now. There goes Skem. But see, that's the story of the game here, John. XM runs at the whole squad and they do nothing. Because they can do nothing. It's like they're versing John Wick, John. Well, what are you meant to do?
I don't know. You call it. You press enter, you hit G twice, and you hit enter again. I don't know how you come back. Maybe okay. This is reaching. You somehow get sharded because Xtreme Gaming somehow dive behind tier 3s into tier 4s, and then you take that team fight. Perhaps. We really haven't. I don't know. They don't have team fight play for the most part on the side of Shopify. The side of Xtreme, they're just kind of punching down now. 34-9, 25k lead. At this point, this is either the biggest stomp we've seen in Wallachia so far, or if Shopify somehow wins, it could turn into the biggest throw. But I don't see that one happening anytime soon, Mike.
I mean, it could. It could. You know. Shopify, they're going to smoke up. Sinq's going to break their smoke immediately, and Sinq will leave for now. Can they kill him? Yul Scepter will duke out the dead shot, and now they'll leap away from the Sprout, and they can't lock him down. Here comes Arme. There goes Yamato, or does he? The 4-star away is there, but Yamato's still copping so much damage. He'll get away with the Sprout for now. Pakaz and Skem, they're just stuck. GG.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think it's an early call, John. I think it's a respectable call, to say the least.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And NP is just not that tanky. You can buy some spacing out with your Bane, but it's not much. I don't know. I'm so confused why they went back into this.
I feel like this Dawnbreaker pick was just really lovely, right? Like it's just, as long as Solar Guardian's up, you're never going to feel comfortable actually jumping anyone with this Prophet Bane. It's always going to feel a little bit awkward knowing that the added healing is going to come in. So I really appreciate this last pick, Dawnbreaker, from XG. And we'll see what they do about it. Shopify, they are going to run into Arme. So Smoke broken onto Skem. So they are just setting up for some wards, but they'll stick around just in case they have a shot at trying to take Arme's life. Seems like XG this time around will be avoiding any kind of level 1 team fight. Just wanting to get into that laning stage where they probably are going to have a pretty good time. So important for Shopify to ensure that the lanes don't go as badly as they did last game, because as you saw, the game will only last roughly 25 minutes if it does. So here we go. They're going to go for a fight over this top bounty. Tianming probably not looking to jump, but he does have Astral Spirit up. We'll move in with that added damage. Hellscream's got to be pretty cautious here. Tianming with the briefcase, doing a lot of damage, but eventually does get stopped. And in fact, he does go down. Skem able to pick him up with the Brain Sap. And so that attempt does work against the side of XG.
Yeah, they do finally find something here. Setting a good tone for the side of Shopify, giving the kill to Skem. Probably not the biggest deal, but you're at least finding your movement lining up. And that's I'd say the morale factor, finding first blood, is pretty big.
I think Skem's dead if he connects. And he does.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Sinq. I mean, he's already started, John. The lane's just got here. Like, we just got the creeps in the lane, Sinq. Take it easy.
No taking it easy here. Do have to appreciate that early ward that Skem did drop earlier, allowing them to get that flank in. So that did enable a lot from that early smoke, even if it did pop early. We'll take a look at the lanes they break out after that little bit of a trade. The mid matchup again for Yopaj here up against XM. Not going to be comfy, and I do appreciate XM just going back to Stinger. Melee lane matchup for Sand King. You've got the innate Caustic. You play with Stinger. Yopaj has to walk up to the creep wave every single time. So you're going to be doing a lot of damage trading back. And sure, Yopaj is pretty tanky. At the very least, he's not going to get shoved out of lane. But he's always got a second guess every single time he's going to come in for the deny or a last hit. There's a lot of openings for XM, and it just feels easier to play. You're the one setting the tone for this lane, not the Tiny. So it's going to be a little bit slower going once more for Yopaj if he's not too careful.
Yeah, absolutely. A very ugly lane for Yopaj. Of course, you're looking at bot lane where you do have SynQ and XXS against Yamato and Skem. Yamato, again, I'd actually say this looks like a more dangerous lane than last time around. I think Yamato had a really good laning stage in game 1. Didn't really get picked off at all, but this one could be dangerous. You get a nice Shackle or a nice Starbreaker set up, and he will just melt to the damage output between these two heroes.
Yeah, it's quite high. And again, the Nature's Prophet, not the tankiest hero in the world. At least this time, your Treants are protected. You don't have a Mirana arrow to worry about. So they will always kind of have some impact zoning out XXS and SynQ. But you're also going to have to watch your spacing when you do go for those last hits here for Yamato. So it is kind of a double-edged sword. He is doing fine in lane though initially. He is finding that farm, but so is XXS. And again, this Dawnbreaker timing into, say, level 3, that's when things start to get really dangerous with the Celestial Hammer at level 2, with a follow-through for Starbreaker, with the burst damage the Q would have as well, with that kill shot. Can get very dangerous very fast once the levels are secured.
He might be dead now. In fact, no, he's not. The Treant does go towards XXS instead, so SynQ gonna make his way out. XXS will protect, but here comes Yamato. Still, SynQ, of course, does have a Quelling Blade. Had Tangos anyway, in case he needed it. But it is a very annoying type of SynQ because of this great Treant just chasing him the whole lane. Because we can't talk about top lane as well, where you do see Pakaz against Arme and Tianming against Hellscream. It seems like another lane where Arme probably not going to be getting that much pressure applied to it. It's probably going to be a pretty good lane for Arme. Tianming chasing Hellscream, but is not going to be able to keep up with the Ringmaster.
No. Doing a great job of at least stacking up these creeps is Pakaz.
I'm going to move in. Tianming does get taken down. Very nice rotation from Pakaz, seeing the opening there and Hellscream to secure the kill. Yamato, bottom lane, he got very low. You've got a power shot in 3 seconds. Yamato's still showing as well. He could just die here if SynQ can connect. He does have 10 one charges though, so if he's clutch enough, he could avoid it, and it seems like SynQ not going to bother going for it anyway. Although maybe now he will. Yamato! Oh. Oh, he was waiting for the Celestial Hammer from XXS. Just wanted that bit of bonus damage before they do go for it. And SynQ already on to his second kill this game.
It's feeling good for the side of 3. Mind you, Shopify, they're doing a lot better in this laning phase in comparison to game 1. Again, you're getting some movement out from Pakaz, you're getting aggression in the Kunkka, you're finding some punishment down bot. Although, again, losing Yamato is not exactly what you're gunning for.
Skem chasing, wants XXS. SynQ taking a fair bit of damage as well. He does successfully force XXS away. In fact, I believe he's actually going to have to run. No, he won't run to the fountain. Does bring a salve out via the courier. Desperately, though, trying to ensure Yamato still continues to have a good lane. Like, CS-wise, it's a great time. You just had that one death earlier. But you don't want to have any more. Right? Let's avoid the dying part. XXS. Sprouted up, has a quelling, he'll be okay. But no regen for this man.
No. And the big change for Shopify as well is that they're focusing on mid a lot more, trying to help out Yopaj. Hellscream's just looking into that Sand King now.
They move in. I mean, XM's quite low. Here comes Yamato to really try and help out. XM still just standing his ground, but can't survive the damage output of the Tame the Beasts. So very nice rotations now from Shopify Rebellion, trying to avoid the mistakes from last game. And they're the ones now applying the pressure.
Timing lines up. into the 6-minute rune as well. Yopaj should be able to get himself topped up, no problem. And again, Shopify are playing a lot better. Last game was... This is not the same team we were seeing last game. It's almost reminiscent of the Shopify we saw against Tundra.
Tianming's going to die for this. He did take the regen rune for himself. And I guess it is, you know, still going. He does have a chance of surviving, but not really. Body blocks will come out from Yamato. And eventually Tianming does at least deny the rune away, but does give his lone life away. Xingqiu still trying to snipe Skem. Does throw a cheeky power shot out just in case he can connect, but he does not.
Not quite. And again, the warding from Shopify to enable this aggression is just on point. They've been really good in keeping watch of XM's lane. They've got that ward behind the tier 1 in a very sneaky spot. So they were always aware as to whether or not XM's going in for the camps. Doing a great job of punishing. The side lanes aren't snowballing too hard in comparison to that game 1 as well. Although Ame is starting to pull ahead by a decent amount in terms of last hits up top. It is a little bit slower going for XXS with all of that poke back here still.
Bottom lane, now moving in for the Shrine of Wisdom. Xingqiu might just die and does do so. Tianming trying to chase Yamato now. He's doing a lot of damage on this Elder Titan, but Yamato's trying to fight back for the Starbreaker. It does land. Yamato, he'll survive a little bit longer. XXS surely one more hit, doesn't get it. Oh, he does. The Celestial Hammer, it'll pay off, but it's just at the cost of 3 heroes for the side of XG. A very expensive cost, and nobody will get caught on their way out.
That's the aggression we were looking for. Again, from game 1, they're doing a great job in Shopify of using that map presence that Yamato has. Sure, it cost him his life, but they take both Shrines of Wisdom off of it. They get some good punishment out. They're slowing down XXS. They're forcing responses out to that lane. They're freeing up a lot of room for Yopaj to just kind of recover as he enters late. Although XM?
XM? Oh, I thought he almost committed it there for a second. Nightmare out onto Tianming. Slow walk back here into Yopaj, but he doesn't have Avalanche available. In fact, now XM's going to jump in. Solar Guardian also committed. They want to go for this fight into the Tiny. And Yopaj, he finally had the Avalanche, but it's too late. They'll still pick off Tianming eventually, as now Yamato is also going to rotate over. XM, he's also been dusted up. He's going to try and fight this one out, I think. He'll pop the Epi. He'll chase down Skem, but he's got a haste rune. He's got a haste rune. Oh, here comes Xingqiu, but it's all too late for you, sir. He'll maybe try for a blind power shot. Let's see if he can land one onto Skem. Oh, he does! Oh, the sniper Xingqiu. The whole of Shopify give him the tip. I mean, he deserves that. My goodness.
Oh, yeah, 100% he deserves that. That was just, again, strange decision-making from Xtreme this time. Like, we saw that hesitation out from XM, he trying to channel out that epicenter. I figured he was just going to run into that haste rune himself. Like, they knew the rune was on the other side. They already scouted out the top power rune earlier on. Instead, opting to make that play, not having enough of the stun duration to connect with the Solar Guardian cleanly, and they miss an opportunity. Like, that is level 1 burst, right? It's not the longest hole in the world to help set up for your combination. So Shopify again finding some punishment. XXS.
Nightmare setups are very nice here from Skem. He's not even level 6 yet either on this Bane, so you don't have the Fiend's Grip to play with. Yopaj, a very nice cut-off point there from the Tiny. And that's going to be a quick death onto XXS. More kills for Shopify Rebellion. And now you've got the Fiend's Grip up on Skem, so he can go for another. He's got the vision onto Xingqiu. A nice easy grip. Yamato will move in as well. And it's going to be a kill for Skem. You love to see it if you're a Shopify Rebellion fan.
Yeah, it's looking like they've got the energy to drag this into game 3. They course correct from game 1. I wasn't the believer in running back, but they identified their issues still.
Skem gonna avoid the stun with the Nightmare. A very nice avoid, in fact, from Skem. He'll eventually go down, but it's gonna come at a heavy cost. It looks like, though, the X-Pack was not onto XXS. So he's all right for now. He'll run back towards the T2 tower, but Yopaj will catch him with an avalanche. Problem is now Q is going to go right after Hellscream with the focus fire. It's not enough though. They will save Hellscream for now, but the chase continues. Tianming, he's going to find Pakaz. Meanwhile, Q's still hunting for this Hellscream, but he's not going to catch him. Instead, they will have to settle for Pakaz. But that is still a very nice kill for the side of XG.
And it is still much more impactful, I want to say, from Shopify. Again, they're working this aggression nicely. They're getting this timing on Yopaj. This is the Tiny without the blink just yet. Once you have that initiation lined up, the game becomes easier to play. And for Xtreme, it just, maybe it feels a little bit desperate almost, right? Like they're going for these Burrow Strike combos with Solar Guardian onto a Bane. It's not the biggest one you'd want to commit your combination for. And they're not finding that simple kill either. It takes a lot of concerted effort. The one silver lining for Xtreme is that Ame has had a very free time. He was left alone top for a long time, makes his rotation out now. Into the Yasha he goes, into the Manta, already having that full Vlad's up. So he has some good sustain to play with and a lot of damage on top of it. But the side of Shopify is hitting those spikes. Again, Yopaj and his blink 200 gold away. Yamato going into that same Mjolnir build-up.
Ame able to pick off a quick kill into Hellscream is Scam now. Trying to set up onto Tianming. XM's in with the epicenter and Yamato. He's been caught out. You really don't want to lose Yamato like this. Not for Tianming. But they'll take him down. They've got Scam to boot. And now Pakaz. He needs to find an escape route. He's got no TP though. And XM's caught him. Solar Guardian just in case. Because why walk? Pakaz trying is dead. Q to secure the kill. And this seems about right for the timing where XG start to slowly take over, John. Because, you know, we really haven't talked about Ame. He's still been free farming, Jonathan. Yeah. He's still just been farming the whole time. He's well and truly ahead of everyone else now on the map. And I'm starting to feel like XG, that they found their footing.
And that was the trade-off of all of that movement. That was the silver lining. Again, Ame showed up when he had his Vlads, not even the Yasha, but he had the parts for it. Now he's basically at the Manta, just lacking recipe. You'll find Tianming again, but you need bigger kills than this to really feel good. Yopaj, that's also his blink reveal as well, so they're going to be ready on the side of Xtreme.
The XM was there, but he was just kind of just casually watching because he didn't have epicenter ready anyway. Couldn't really do much about the jump onto Tianming. They will stick around to defend this tier 1 top tower, at least Q will, but Yopaj immediately going to jump in with the blink. Toss back into Pakaz. Ame's going to show himself, trying to move it onto the Tiny, and Yopaj actually almost dies. In fact, XM does move in with the Burrow Strike now, so Yopaj in pretty big danger. They'll get a Fiend's Grip onto Ame. Maybe they can get the Morphling, and they can. They set up perfectly here, Shopify. They'll even catch XM. That's the one thing with that Fiend's Grip. You've got to be wary of the Fiend's Grip, Jonathan.
Yeah, they didn't hold their stuns this time around, committing all in to try to catch out Yopaj, but with the saves in the back, just too hard to pierce through right now. XXS.
There's a danger here, Yopaj. We'll just chase him down, and that's going to be another nice kill for Shopify, as we are seeing some highlights from that last fight. As you can see, that Will of Wonder kind of screwing up Ame in terms of finishing off the kill onto Yopaj, but Scam, look at the position right in the tree line. They can't see him. It's very hard to get there for XM. And with that, like, if you can't stop the Fiend's Grip, Ame's got no hope in hell of surviving. Not if he's not already strength morphing. And that's a great fight for Shopify. Not allowing XG to take a big advantage.
Yeah, they reel it back their way. Again, the side of Xtreme Gaming. In terms of these fights, they've been maybe a little bit brash, right? Like, we've seen this time and time again when they go for the Burrow Strike and Solar Guardian. That's one big example. It's just not quite lining up. That combination, I feel like you need to have a little bit more coming out from Tianming. He's got to be able to get these Echo Stomps off. And in that fight, it reflects in the fact that they go all in on the stuns without looking for the backline. Like, it should be down to either XM or Tianming to actually spot out this Bane. Like, Scam is a very easy target to go on if you can change something away. He has to be the priority target. That or even Health Screen. Right? Because we are seeing the effect of that escape that kicked in. And that save is still as obnoxious as ever. And with the space that Shopify has made, they'll take a free Tormentor for themselves. Nice and quick. Side of Xtreme are running down here, though.
They might want to fight. XG, they'll get a bit of vision on Pakaz. In fact, they get a stomp onto Pakaz. He'll be okay, though. No real big jump in from XG yet. And it seems like it's going to be about it. They really haven't brought the whole team anyway. It's just the supports. Just scouting out what's going on. So free Tormentor now for Shopify. No Roshan to be taken as the counter. Seems like XG just back to the drawing board now, looking to farm as bottom lane. They do find Synq. Both will connect. Synq in pretty big danger, does die. But he does at least tank the gank for Arme to be able to escape freely. So you lose your Wind Ranger, you allow Arme out of there, but it's going to be another kill for Shopify. It's XM now, finding Skem. Skem trying to make it hard. Epicenter does get committed though, and he's been stopped up by Tianming. He'll still run though. There might be time for Yamato to move in. In fact, the Fiend's Grip is out from Skem, but a beautiful burrow strike from XM. The Solar Guardian to buy a bit of time. Tianming though still dying. XXS now in the middle of nowhere. He's also going to die. Oh, XG getting a little bit too excited here in this game too.
They are. Again, just the way they're taking these fights are just messy in comparison to how it was in game one. They're not staggering their spells. They're holding back on some spells, giving some openings here again.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Skem, he's setting up everything here, John. Another Nightmare set up into Synq, and Yopaj can very quickly follow up with the Avalanche Toss combo. And for me right now, I really do feel like Skem on this Bane's been the big difference maker in this game too. You know, it's just the constant setups for these easy pickoffs have really paid off, and just the constant threat. Am I going to get Nightmared? Am I going to get Fiend's Gripped? Is someone going to catch him? You just don't know. Here we go again. He might find XXS here. Misses out the initial jump. XXS running. Yamato does see him. Yopaj will be on the chase to boot, but XXS is a pretty fast dude. It looks like this time he will escape.
You look at the control that Shopify have in that area. They've got good forward wards up top. They're all just playing in this area. No one's crossing back into their side of the river. Xtreme Gaming can't go across the river either. There's some good defensive wards to allow some movement back in for Shopify, for if anyone kind of staggers back into that jungle. XXS still in danger?
Let's get caught by Yamato. He's not really that tanky. Yamato able to take him down, though he does almost end up killing himself in the process because of that blade mail, but it'll be alright. He does get there in the end. Bottom. They're looking at Skem. We've seen this before, though. They're going to actually pop the epicenter to just try and burst him down, though Skem is not dying. He's got the escape back here from Hellscream to help him out. Skem surely dies and does eventually. But here comes Pakaz. Pakaz looking to go on to Tianming. How far do you want to go, though, Pakaz? Earth Splitter's out now. That's going to connect. Pakaz is down. Yamato now moving in, but the Solar Guardian is out onto Arme to try and protect Arme. Dropping low, does go down. Still XM, still continuing, does kill off Yamato at the very least, and now Yopaj in trouble. Yopaj trying to man up. He'll toss up XXS, but it doesn't matter. And Synq, you know he's going to try and snipe Hellscream. Can he get him? No, he cannot. He goes the wrong way. But that's a great fight for Xtreme Gaming. In Pakaz, I mean, you kind of saw it. He was running in by himself. It was a little bit early. Yamato felt forced to come in afterwards. And it just felt like they could have left. They could have left the fight the way it was. They forced it a little bit, and sadly, it works out the other way.
Yeah, it comes down to the fact that you lose Skem first, and you get threatened on your Ringmaster, right? Like, he's forced to Wheel of Wonder to try to cut off the rest of the aggression. Not catching out XM in the taunt is a pretty big deal, as your Sand King's starting to do a lot of damage. To catch more, though.
They're trying to catch Skem, but Skem's a real nuisance. It's very hard to pick him off, as Synq's actually the one to fall first. And now XM! XM getting caught, Skem with the Fiend's Grip, locking him down. It's just a bait every time. Like, every time they jump this Bane, it always feels like it works against them.
It does. I mean, outside of the one time it did work last time, they need to find them kind of fragmented here on the side of Shopify. Easier said than done for Xtreme. Shopify have been playing, for the most part, much more disciplined Dota in comparison to Game 1. They maintain that 6K lead, 27-15, and their aggression is still on point. Like they know how to take these fights, except for the last one where and maybe Pakaz overstayed his welcome when Skem died first. But as long as Skem's alive, you've got all the opportunities you could possibly ask for. Still, big timings lining up here for Xtreme Gaming. Ag's timing for XM, 1 part away, around 200 gold left. For XXS, it's about 700 gold away. You're going to have that double Ags, you're going to have the lingering Solar Guardian with the Healing Pulse coming online, and a shorter channel duration, which means the connection with Burst Strike should almost always connect at that point. For Ame, he did finish up his Dragonlance. He's going into the full Butterfly next, so the damage output of our Morph starts to really come up. I'm a bit surprised we're not seeing anything defensive in respect to Skem, right? Like something like a Linken's on any of these heroes would be a massive help. Maybe down the line, just looking for more damages. It does take a while to kill off some of these heroes compared to how fast Shopify has been murdering the side of Xtreme Gaming so far. Again, 8K lead for Shopify. They've done a great job in actually getting the strengths of their draft running. Like, right? This is the ideal sort of NP game. This is the ideal sort of tiny mid, high tempo, high aggression gameplay coming in. And they'll go again. Smoke already out. Yopaj joining his 2 supports. Has the disassembly on the Echo Saber for the BKB to be up. That's going to be a big surprise. They're reliant on that Epicenter Solar Guardian at the moment to kind of get these kills on these cores from the side of Xtreme. That BKB puts a spanner in the works here.
I mean, it really does feel like XG just need to avoid fighting until they have some defensive items up. There is a Lotus Orb coming on Sync-Q, which certainly will help, but I agree with the sentiment. Arme probably going to want a Linken Sphere at the least to try and make things a little bit more challenging against this Bane that has been a real nuisance towards his Morphling. We shall see. He'll finish the Butterfly first, and respectively, like he probably does want some bonus damage, and the evasion obviously going to help a lot. But yeah, I mean, that Linken's or even just the Lotus would be a godsend right now for XG. So they are going to smoke up. XG, not waiting around for those key items. BKB now available on Yamato, so 2 BKBs that they haven't seen yet. Shopify could have a pretty big lock on the next team fight. With that debuff immunity coming, Yopaj already looking for an initiation, not going to find anyone yet. Xtreme Gaming also just casually waiting. Ame is getting... He's pretty much 1k away from having the full Butterfly, so you'd love to just wait it out a little bit. There's your Lotus Orb on Sync-Q now being ready. The problem is Shopify, they're not waiting. They want that T2 top tower, and they'll take it very quickly. But they probably will have to retreat after this. Shopify maybe having to start looking at the Roshan attempt very, very soon. Jump in, XM, he's actually going to try and defend. Yamato gets his BKB off, but he is stunned in the middle of it. Yamato just trying to retreat, losing half his HP already. Is he just dead? Oh, he is! Yamato gone with his BKB, even as XM jumping in for another 2-man stun. Ame looking for that Bane, unable to find Skem yet, so they'll have to focus on everybody else. He'll finally see Skem, but he wants to avoid him now. XM in the meantime, he does get caught out. So does Pakaz though. It's a 1-for-1 on the off lane as they can move in for more now. Ame looking for that Bane, moves on to Skem, but Skem's on the run. He's all alone though, they've left him be. Skem looks like he will survive. And it ends up being a 2-for-1 in favor of XG. The funniest part about that fight was Ame literally barely hit anyone. He was just chasing Skem the whole fight.
Yeah, showing a lot of respect for that control. But I'm amazed they managed to get that damage through to Yamato with his BKB up. It's this double Ags, right? It's the lower duration of the Solar Guardian channel along with getting some physical damage out on the Epicenter with the Stinger. The double Ags timing does line up, and it does overwhelm Yamato overall. At the least, Yopaj, you know, he wasn't quite in the area. He didn't have to pop BKB, so he still has his fresh one. But yeah, it's that double Ags combination. Damage going right through that debuff immunity. You've got the spacing out for Ame, turning into the Nature's Prophet in the wooded area as well. And then he just plays cautiously. That's the one thing that held him back. If they could play more aggressive, if they could find Skem faster, they would have gotten more, but they have to show a lot of respect in these kinds of engagements.
Mid lane, Shopify, they have smoked up again. They're running directly towards XXS. Ward's down. XXS has vision around the area, but they are still smoked. But Shopify, they don't see him. They'll try and mid lane instead onto Tianming. A much easier kill to secure, and they do get it. There was also a scan out right on top of Arme, and Bane's already rushing towards that area. Skem wants to find a Nightmare or Fiend's Grip, but doesn't quite get there in time. So Shopify is still desperately trying to keep that pressure applied onto the side of Xtreme. Sadly, they only really find Tianming. It's not really that big of a deal. Update, by the way, John. Even now, Arme is not going for the Lincolns. He's going to go for a Hurricane Pike instead.
It's rather interesting that he's not valuing that protection. I guess, again, maybe they're just thinking they can always catch out Skem. They've got a lot of stuns.
Roshan.
They'd have to be careful about stacking it, though.
Well, they could make it in time here, John. They've got the vision with the power shot. Roshan's still healthy. XM, he's going to go in with the epicenter. It's on top of Cars, but he's taking no damage with that pipe up. But Cars just tanking all of it. Now they can turn around. XM, he did more damage to himself than he did to Pakaz, but it doesn't matter. He still managed to get out of there. Roshan still surviving on 3k HP. Shopify, they'll slowly move back into the pit. It's like XM's rushing towards the fountain, trying to reset. He should have time. Does have a TP ready so he can get back in. XXS has been spotted top lane. Skem's already rushing there. If they can pick off XXS, it's basically Roshan guaranteed, but the creeps should see him, and they do. Arme's already getting there to make sure he can help out. And if they can kill Skem, Roshan might just be theirs. They'll jump in. Skem. Does he get out? Meanwhile, Xingqiu does end up dying. There's another fight broken out. Tianming being chased might just drop, and does. Skem, he's bought all this space, John. He's not even dead. Skem's not even dead. He's coming back. Here come the buybacks from XG. They've got to fight for the next Roshan. Skem's going to cut some people off here. He's on the other side. In fact, never mind. XG do back off. And Roshan, once again, might just get started. There was 2 buybacks committed here, so XG are in a pretty awkward position. How do you go and fight this Roshan now, knowing that you don't have those buybacks ready? They've got Epicenter in 10. Though as we saw last team fight, that pipe basically took all the damage away. And XM nearly kills himself with the Blade Mail active of Pakaz. Looking to move in. XM, Epicenter is channeled. He's going after Yopaj, and Yopaj, he is not saved. He does go down to the Earth Splitter. Hellscream also caught out. Hellscream, no, he's okay. He'll be saved here by the boat. Xingqiu, meanwhile, does end up going down. That's a dieback on the Wind Ranger. But here comes Arme. He'll waveform forward. They get the Will of Wonder down. Another Fiend's Grip. Skem will hold him down. Do they have the follow-up damage? He's surviving. Arme, he'll strength morph. He'll make it out. In fact, he'll waveform back in. Arme, what a kicker, Chad! What a kicker, Chad! Arme's not dying. Call an ambulance, but not for him. 4 down for Shopify Rebellion. And Arme will take his prize in the Roshan pit.
I mean, I guess we're seeing why Arme doesn't need the Lincolns, Mike. He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't, John.
He doesn't even have his shard. Yeah, he doesn't even have his shard. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. He's tanky enough. It's this butterfly, to be fair, right? Like, you don't have anything like the MKB up. You don't have like a Bloodthorn to worry about. So even if he's gripped up, the grip damage alone at this point for Arme, not going to be enough to kill him off. You took care of Yopaj earlier on. That's the best target you could ask for. And that position from Yopaj causing all of these issues. Like, it's a great grip. The stomp as well, stalling out from Tianming was massive and saving. But when he's hit, look at all those misses. They can't pierce through the evasion, and Arme's just so tanky.
Yeah, nothing like an MKB being built here on Yamato either. He's trying to go for a Revenant's Brooch, but you might have to switch that one out a little bit, I think. Things are looking tough here for the side of Shopify. All of a sudden, the net worth advantage finally swinging back the way of XG. And you're seeing Arme, like, he just morphs into that Prophet. that added BAT, it's pretty rough. Yamato, don't go there, sir. He'll try for Tianming, but he didn't realize Ame's right behind him. And Ame, he doesn't care about your BKB, Yamato. He doesn't need your BKB. He's just hitting. It's all right click, sir.
Holy. 300 plus 300 damage whenever he's NP. That is insane. That is insane, Ame. That is ridiculous. Good lord. That innate in the tree line. He's a better NP. He's just better.
Yes, he is. He's just a better MP. He's the guy that your wife tells you not to worry about, John. That's what he is.
Yeah.
That's him right there. He is him. Anyway, Shopify Rebellion.
Shopify have to play a cleaner game now. Like that mistake, Yopaj walking into the power rune spot when they're all contesting Roshan. That's the consequence. You can't afford to make slip-ups. That little play for Yamato to just pick off an Elder Titan at this point in the game, and that changes the game. 4K lead, 33 to 23. Not quite the dream numbers, unfortunately, not lining up the way you'd want it to, but hey, we've got a lot of trees in 1-2. A little bit of a reversal. As they start to siege away, they still have the secondary life on Ame. Daedalus not too far off either.
Yopaj, jump in. Avalanche toss up. Ame could give less of a crap.
Jeez.
Yopaj forced the BKB and walk away. X up onto Ame. Means nothing though. They missed the torrent. He is currently 400 gold away from the full Daedalus, John, so I think Ame may as well just go farm that. He's got 2.5 minutes on the Aegis, so plenty of time. And if you're doing 600 per right click with the Daedalus, Jonathan, and attacking that fast as a Morphling, I'd imagine things are about to get a lot more dire for Shopify Rebellion.
And it is. I mean, it's dire for Shopify, but you gotta have fun here for Ame. He's been having fun the entire game. Maintaining that top net worth spot the entire time.
He's going to be critting for like 1.5k.
Yeah.
As the prophet.
He's Phantom Assassin.
Here we go. Look at this, John. Pakaz is... That's your offlane, by the way. See you, Pakaz. Ame, I think Ame could confidently jump into the whole team right now, and they probably wouldn't be able to do much about it. Let's see. T3 towers under siege. XM jumps in. Who is he caught? It's going to be Skem. That's a big target. They've got Skem down. Ame's not dying either. Yamato's forced the BKB and try to attack, but who are you attacking? Like, no, at this point, nobody cares about your Prophet as they jump in again. Yopaj is down. XM, just an absolute menace. They wipe him. Call it, boys. It's over. There's no buybacks. That's it. GG's call. Shopify will have to go home. But Xtreme Gaming, they will proceed, Jonathan.
That they will. And they do it in very strong fashion. Game 2, a little bit topsy-turvy. You know, Shopify were managing to play their draft a lot better in comparison to Game 1. This is the Shopify we saw yesterday when they did take a game off of Tundra. Unfortunately, just not enough. The small mistakes they made, especially around that Roche pit.